the history of InCruises, and who created the company. So, very important before you join any company, or before you get hired by any company, or before you do business with any company, to know a couple of things about who you're dealing with, and especially to know about the founders of the company and the CEOs, and about their reputation, about their experiences, about how they do business, because it's very important. It depends, the future of that company, your future depends from that information. So, InCruises, the travel club, was founded by two people, Frank Cadena and Michael Hutchison. Frank Cadena is a chief operating officer. He's mostly behind the scenes. He's a family man, has a couple of kids. He's been in business for a very long time. He's not as much as a public figure as Michael Hutchison, but he's very knowledgeable and has a lot of experience. And actually, combined with Michael Hutchison, both they have over 100 years of experience, of business experience, in the travel industry and in the direct sales. So that's a great thing to know before joining the company. And a little bit about Michael Hutchison. He is more of a public figure and a face of InCruises. We see him more often. He is a family man. He has a large family. He has a couple of kids and a lot of grandkids. He's married. He has 3 brothers, so he has a large family. And initially, he created InCruises so he can travel and spend quality time with his family while enjoying the world and enjoying his life. So that was the original plan. So a little bit more about Michael. He's a public figure. He's a coach. He's a speaker. He's an author. His books are sold on Amazon on public speaking. He is financial advisor. And actually, his main focus most of his life was he was an anti-crisis manager, which means the company hired him, the company who was doing badly in business and he needed help. And they were inviting him to fix their problem, and he was coming in the company and doing what he's doing best. And he was turning those companies around, and they were becoming more successful after he was working with them. And if you know Tony Robbins, you probably do. He is a worldwide international business coach. He actually worked with Michael. And when Michael came to work for Tony, Tony wasn't as he's known today. He was just starting his business, and he was in a lot of debt. So when Michael joined his company, he was his manager of his company, manager of sales. And after the time they spent together and they worked together, Tony Robinson became as successful as people know him today. So Michael helped him reach that success, helped him to become, to reach that potential, to reach that high ground that Tony is now, that Tony known for now, because he's an international business coach. He'd never been bankrupt. So he was very careful, very knowledgeable, very experienced in what he was doing. And he's already turned 60 this year. In 2020, he turned 60. So he's a very law-obedient citizen. He is a United States citizen. He lives in Puerto Rico. And he created, with Frank Cadena, they founded InCruises 5 years ago in the United States. Which means if who lives in the United States knows that USA has very strict rules and very strict laws about creating a company, any new founding company. It has to follow strict rules and regulations, and the legislation is very clear what is a pyramid scheme and what is direct sales. So InCruises registered in 5 United States, and it has seller of travel. This is the requirement for the company who operates in the travel industry. So all those documents, all those requirements are met. So InCruises, it's a legitimate company which is in the United States, and it's very strict here. There is no pyramid schemes. It's punishable by law. So that's very important. And not everybody know actually that when Michael was 19 years old, he fell from a 4-story building and he broke his head and he broke his arm and his leg and he almost died. And at that moment, he remembered, he had this aha moment. He realized that the life gave him a second chance and he doesn't want to waste it. And he just wants to make good in this life and help people. And from that day, his motto, still till today, you help everyone and everyone helps you. So that's how he lived his life. And that's how he living it till today. And that's how he operates. So that's an amazing leader to have for the company and an amazing example to follow. And that's why a lot of us trust him and trust what he's doing with InCruises. That's why we still here and we work here. And he gives business trainings and he supports us. And when was pandemic, he came on air every Tuesday and gave us updates, news. He supported us in everything in those crises, and he was letting us know that the company is strong and his belief in it is strong and we're growing. And the interesting thing is, the most shocking thing is that in the pandemic, 500,000 people joined InCruises. That's a fact. Where all other traveling industry was suffering, unfortunately. InCruises gained 500,000 new tourists or people who wants to earn money, because InCruises has that opportunity as well, which I mentioned a little bit later. So in 2020, in the most difficult, critical year in everybody's life, InCruises gained 500,000 new members, and it became so large that it's now over 1 million members all around the world, which means it's over 190 countries, and all of us from all over the world speak 17 languages. So InCruises site translated in 17 languages. So that's an interesting fact, because you ask why do people join when the travel industry were stopping and not going anywhere. So I'll explain that fact later also. The huge benefit that people saw, they saw that they can save money for vacation after pandemic. So they doesn't have to suffer after. They can enjoy their life and relax after the stressful time after and bring their family to a great vacation. Or they lost their job. Probably they maybe lost their job and they saw this opportunity to earn money, and they explain how this is possible as well. So InCruises was created 5 years ago, and about that time, that 5, 7, 10 years ago, cruising industry was developing and it was growing, but even with their multi-million marketing campaign, it wasn't able to fill their ships with people. It wasn't able to fill the capacity. It wasn't able, either the marketing didn't reach those people, or they didn't see, or they didn't even know that cruising vacation possible and exist. So that's where InCruises came to play a huge part in this. Because when InCruises formed, it became a platform for like a middle ground for cruising industry and tourists who want to travel affordably, safe, and creatively. So it doesn't have to be like Dominican Republic or Mexico for United States, which is very popular. And for Russia, it could be like Turkey, India, or Egypt. So you can go to more countries for the same price. So that's what InCruises became.